Hey, what's up, guys? It's Elmer Brown Enriquez, your host of Artistic Visions, the show where we like to go in depth with young artists in Toronto, talk about their art, what they like to talk about in their art, and what they would like to talk about in their art. And today I have a very special guest for a special episode, Dylan.
What's up? What's up?
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. I saw a lot of what you've done. Honestly, what we're talking about now doesn't even scratch the surface of what you have done. Like this hat, amazing hat, by the way. Just wanted to point it out. Hand painted, really great stuff. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's just go into who are you and what kind of art do you usually make?
Yeah, well, my name is Dylan, aka blondboii, aka Couch Apparel. So blondboii is kind of like my graphic design handle, where I do a lot of freelance work, a lot of graphic design work. But Couch and Couch Apparel is kind of like where I go more so down the route of fashion design and a lot of other stuff. I've sort of been touching on a lot of editorial stuff. I do a lot of visual arts, painting, drawing, sort of a whole wide range of things. Because originally Couch was mainly clothes, like it was only supposed to be clothes. But now as I've gotten older, I don't want to stick to clothes. It gets boring over time. So yeah, a lot of different things: paintings, drawings, photography, maybe a little bit.
You dabble in that.
In the photography a little bit. So,
yeah, I've seen you. Yeah, you've gotten your hands dirty for sure. I've seen the amount, like definitely the Couch Apparel stuff was, something I saw and I was like, oh, you've been working out at this brand for how long again?
It's been like, I swear, like 8 years now.
8 years.
Yeah, like it's crazy because originally, like I started in high school.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, like in high school, I wasn't taking it too seriously. It was a lot of like I wanted to wear my own stuff. Yeah. Like I didn't want to buy things anymore. Like I don't know, Zoomies and all that stuff. I was sick of seeing what was in there. So I wanted to do like my own artistic stuff. But yeah, it's been a slow burn and just slowly growing each year. It's just been really cool.
And I love how you can see that the aesthetics of it change. Like I feel like you gradually start putting in more of. I noticed like maybe before you did a lot more color. Now we're doing a lot more patterns and more contrasting colors. Like I think you're messing a lot more with that kind of idea. And even these pants, like you're doing a lot with. I just really like what you do with your iconography and your symbols and everything. It's amazing to see.
Thank you. Yeah, because like in high school, like I've had my main mascot Ronnie,
Mm-hmm.
who's the skeleton guy that you see everything. I've had him since the very beginning. So like, it's cool to see or like have him with me. He's kind of like like my personal friend that like has evolved with me throughout time.
He's that imaginary friend that is actually alive now. He's come to fruition.
Exactly, because he started off literally as like I did like an animation class in my high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I created this little character who's now is Ronnie, but he was this guy with a Hawaiian shirt, and he was coming out of the grave. And from then on, I really liked that design. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this guy's got to be the face of Couch. So he's like, if you see him from like when I first started to now, like he's evolved like crazy. But like you're saying, like with colors and stuff, like because I was in high school, I was in like a very different mindset. Mm-hmm. Because I grew up in a small town. Like the possibilities for what I thought I could make, or like who even I was as a person, was very limited. So like even like using a lot of like I used the bright colors back then, but I maybe was like too scared at the time to like do something that had like a bunch of patterns all over it, because at the time, like in my hometown, you don't see anybody wearing that. And like if you went to high school, like me being like a 16-year-old, I'd be like, if I wear these pants, is it gonna be,
I'm gonna get clowned on?
Yeah. But then like growing up now, going to university, coming to the city, you realize like none of that matters. Like you are your own person, and you could just wear whatever the fuck you want, and it's sick. Like you embody whatever you wear, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel like you're saying you embody what you wear, but you're also, I feel like what you create also embodies you and what your mindset is at the time. So it's really cool to see all that evolve. We're not even talking about projects yet. They were just talking about one of those projects that is kind of one of your main ones, I would say, that you're really working hard on. But in terms of other things that Couch has done, we actually have Couch the magazine, one of your first projects here that we have for the show. And what are we seeing here? I actually have a copy, so it's an amazing book. But tell me, what can the people expect when they open this?
Yeah, so Couch the magazine is actually like, it's a new project, but it is like older within my like discography or whatever of art. Like I did it 2 years ago, but basically at the tail end of like my university education, we had to do the thesis project, and so I was really trying to think about like what I wanted to do, and I ultimately wanted to make a magazine that was all about us, like young people following their dreams, like getting out of university and like going into this big world and trying to figure out like what the hell we want to do with our lives and everything like that. So that's where Couch the magazine kind of spawned from. It was a 220-page magazine that took about a year to make, and it includes all of my friends who either I grew up with back in my hometown or like some friends that I met here in university. And I wanted to like shed light on their stories and talk about like what they're doing, because there's so many of my friends that are doing like really cool stuff. And sometimes like I feel like a lot of our stuff gets overlooked. Like, well, especially now with the algorithms and everything. Like, 100%. And so even though like I don't have as large of a following, I wanted to at least use my sort of following and like my platform to at least shed some light on these people.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love the book. For like, it's amazing because I know that, especially in Toronto, we have a close-knit community here in Toronto. I feel like in terms of artists and artists alike, we might have different, like say you and me, we have different kind of mediums, or even one of your friends, Seb Aguiarte, who is a filmmaker, first and foremost. You guys are kind of separate in that way, but you guys still connect a lot, and through art and through talking about art. Even like I've heard movies and music, right? So
totally. Like Seb was my roommate, like
through
second year all the way to fourth year, and like a lot of the people that I met in university were not even like in my field. Like they were all in film or like in music, and you find that a lot of the people you connect with, because like you're able to use like your knowledge and like everything, and then like we all help each other out and like bounce ideas off each other. Similar to this magazine now, like I'm hoping that like, because my field in graphic design and whatever, like Sev maybe wouldn't have ever made a book about him or his art. This was like maybe a stepping stone, like where he sees, oh, like this could be maybe a cool way to show my work, or like I don't know, that is like not in the film sphere.
And it's such a great idea. Like I think that's what it is. It's like you allow those artists who don't necessarily maybe have that vision of what you have of like explaining what their work means and what it means to them and stuff, but you giving that platform, I think, will intrigue people and be like, well, yeah, like why not talk about my story? And it's amazing. I did want to talk about really quick the photography, because I know there's a lot of photography. Is that all done by you, or was that some collaboration on a little bit?
No, I work like very closely and tirelessly with Brianna Leung. She is like an all-star photographer, artist, everything. Like
MVP,
yeah, like so the Couch the Mag honestly wouldn't have even been a thing without her effort. Like her and I like planning photo shoots, her actually taking all the photos, editing them, even like when it wasn't like her specialty, like she would sit with me over Zoom and like we would read over the magazine, like I don't even know, like 20 times it felt like. And then, like it's a big magazine, so like we were reading and then like we would read out loud, and then we would read separately to make sure there was no typos and like everything. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't for her, this magazine wouldn't have been a thing. So thank you, Brianna, for all the help. Maybe Elmer, could you put her Instagram right here?
Yeah, Brianna will be in the because they're a champion in their own right. I've seen a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I even own another shirt that's not this one, from Couch Apparel, and it's the Halloween one, which
Yes.
she also collaborated with you on. That one was amazing too. So
And that was a whole other thing. That was drawn, like that was visual arts.
Yeah.
Like so then like yeah. Like
Yeah.
I could go on forever about how much she helped with that, but it was crazy being able to do this process, especially with someone who shares like the same creative mind.
Yeah.
And then like going into these, because like a lot of the artists featured, like they're just from my hometown, so like going back home, going to their house, and like one of the interviews, his name's Oz Ambrose. Like I fully went into his garage and we set up like a white tarp and spray painted
Yeah.
it, and like we're doing photo shoots within like his own house. So like it's cool that his house acts as like his recording studio, and like I don't know, just super sick.
You get to show the spaces of what those artists like, what they work in and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's awesome. I want to talk about maybe a little bit on the cover. I also just want to talk about maybe the spine. I like the spine a lot, what you did
Yeah.
with the spine. What do you want to say about what we see on the cover and the back, if you do have any?
Yeah,
comments?
so the cover of the magazine is a photo that my good friend Lucas Radlin took. Okay, so this is the one photo
One photo
that Brianna didn't take. It was photographed by my good friend Lucas Radlin. It's we went on a trip to British Columbia back maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago now at this point, just like when COVID was getting let up. And so this is a photo of us, Daniel, Hazar, Brianna, and I looking over the sort of this cliff in a Soyuz in British Columbia. And I didn't even know Lucas was taking this photo of us. And it kind of like, this photo embodies, I feel like, this dream, this passion and drive that we all have. Like we're all in awe looking over at the horizon of, well, at the time in the photo, we were looking at the horizon of the Soyuz skyline. But like, I feel like it's all of us looking ahead at like our dreams and like where we're going. And just like, this trip was kind of spontaneous. Like it was just kind of like, you want to go to Vancouver? And I was, or like, do you want to go to British Columbia? And I'm like, okay, sure.
It's like when and where.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly. So then that photo kind of embodies that whole youthful feeling of being spontaneous and doing some cool, fun stuff. And then the spine and then the spine is my mascot, Ronnie. And
You back at it.
And I thought, because it's a spine, I would make his spine go all the way down the thing. So it was like spine of the book, spine of Ronnie. And I just thought I wanted to add my mascot somewhere, because like Couch, the logo that I have on the magazine is like a reiteration or like a reimagining of a logo I did back in high school, which it's now not my logo anymore, but I wanted to figure out a way of how to combine
the new and the old,
Yes,
and make it
exactly.
modern. Yeah. No, this is an amazing project, and I knew when I saw it, I had to go for it. I also maybe got a limited edition wrapping paper with some designs, so I got lucky. But there was also just a lot of details and just a lot of art and words of just passion for the arts and passion for, not only those the friendships and relationships, but just overall like what's coming out of those, and like how much you feel with these people, and in any way, it doesn't matter. Like I can tell that there's a reason why you want to be their friend, and it's just such a great environment to be in as an artist, right? Like it's
100%.
supportive, like, right? So
It's the greatest thing, being friends with artists, because you like say one day you're like, oh my god, like this was super draining. You see someone else, one of your friends, so like passionate about what they're doing. It's not even like in your field, or like you don't even know maybe necessarily what the hell they're talking about. They're like, spitballing all this stuff.
And you're like, yeah.
And then like your brain now is like super like, wow, like that's all I can say.
Now I can
like,
record a movie.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like,
yeah, no, that's amazing to hear. I really like this project a lot. Let's move on to your next big project. The Blonde Boy era has begun. I'll say that.
yes.
What do you want to talk about here with Blonde Boy?
So Blonde Boy, I mean, a lot of you now, if you're watching this video, you might be just getting introduced to Couch and Ronnie, which was the skeleton guy I was talking about. Like, you may just be getting introduced to all this stuff right now, so it's coming all like super fast.
Yes.
But Blonde Boy is actually the newest character to be added to like the world of Couch. One of like my biggest dreams, like now running a clothing brand, is I want to do like a lot of world building, like where Couch now stands more so not just as like a clothing brand, but I don't know, like I'm really inspired by cartoons like SpongeBob and The Simpsons, and how like each episode is like standalone, but then they have this overall story that links them all. So like if you're there and watching from episode 1, you could watch like sporadic episodes, but you'll know that like in one episode Maud Flanders is living and Maud Flanders is dead, because there's like a thing. But anyway,
spoilers for a Simpsons.
Oh yeah, Simpsons spoilers right now. But like stuff like that is really cool. So like when it comes now to like doing my clothes, I want to see this progression happen where each piece is a standalone thing, but now it lives within this world. So Blonde Boy is now like an alter ego of myself. I want to be in the Couch world. Like I make it all.
This is my world.
Yeah, it's my world. I want to be in it. So I created this character now that is now like homies with Ronnie. They hang out, they do stuff in this world. So basically, and also Blonde Boy has been my Instagram handle now for a really long time for a lot of my freelance design work. And now graduating out of university and stuff, again, I want to take Couch from more than just like a clothing brand. I want to have it as a hub for literally anything that you want. So like if you need logo design, you need graphic design, fashion design, like come to Couch, and I got it all. So now Blonde Boy being introduced into the world of Couch is like a way of me tying all of like my creative fields into like one space. So Blonde Boy is this clown guy. I don't know what it is. I really like clowns. I like how like colorful they are. A lot of people like hate them. They're like scary, or there's some trauma. But yeah, Blonde Boy is this this clown character, and basically I wanted to create a whole collection to launch this new idea I had and this new character that got added. So I created a new t-shirt, I created a hoodie, one of one hand crocheted clown collars. They were actually crocheted by one of my good friends, Yuna. So again, thank you, Yuna, for helping me out with the clown collars. But yeah, this collection was just a little mini one to set sail on this new venture that I got going on.
The Blonde Boy project, I thought it was really interesting because I was, I followed your Couch apparel brand beforehand, and when you announced this, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty interesting, because this allows you to kind of, have almost the clothing items or any kind of items you're selling under, say, Blonde Boy, as opposed to just what you would do with Couch. You kind of have its own style. So, and it gives that idea of like, not that there are different brands, but it's almost like different characters selling you something. It's like Ronnie sells you these nice, hoodies with his face on them, and then Blonde Boy is over here giving you collars of ruffles, right? Like crocheted ruffles. And I just think that's such a cool idea, and to, in the world building, like I think I love like when there's like lore about characters and like, who knows, maybe a clothing ripped up, not that you sell like ripped up clothing, but like you sell a shirt with the Ronnie's blood. Oh, maybe Blonde Boy got into. They would never fight. I know that, but I'm saying the lore, the story building of it all. I find it so interesting, and what you can do with it. There's like a lot of possibilities, and that's what's really intriguing about the project.
Well, there was one thing I remember being like younger. I loved The Walking Dead, and the Walking Dead comics. Like this is like a whole other thing, but like they would sell Ezekiel's star shirt and stuff like on the Walking Dead website. So like if you wanted to have like literally the shirt that he wore in the comic books, or like Lucille's bat, like I think it's so cool that like at one point if I want to make like Ronnie's Hawaiian button-up shirt, like the clown collars is like sort of like my first step in that, like the Blonde Boy collars, so like you can literally embody kind of Blonde Boy within yourself, like if you wear this collar. It's just like super dope.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I really love that idea. Yeah, it's like, it's just them personifying it within clothing, and I think that's really cool. And the worlds that you can play around with, I'm excited. Who knows, maybe will there be a third character you ever think you'll add? Or
well, so right now as it stands, I have Ronnie, who's the undead tourist. So you see him in his Hawaiian shirt, skeleton, dead. Ronnie. Then you have Blonde Boy, who's the clown, my alter ego, my sort of introduction within the world of Couch. And then I have these characters called the Squirms.
The Squirms.
So the Squirms, like, for people who have followed me for a long time and what have you, I've done squirm balaclavas. So they're like these hand crocheted balaclavas that you'd wear, and they have beady eyes on the top. They're like these So like the story behind the balaclavas and like these characters is they're aliens from outer space.
I think I remember you talking about your alien I think, but yeah.
So they have these. So the Squirms are like not necessarily like an individual character. They're just like a thing that you see within the world of Couch, and I haven't like quite explained that yet, like through socials or whatever, of this overarching like storyline that I kind of have in mind. That's why like actually introducing Blonde Boy as a new character is like good now, because now I can slowly introduce these characters officially so people know like what the hell is going on. Because like just from an outsider looking in, you may see like, where does this come from? Like in my brain, it all makes sense because I'm like, this is the Squirms. This is Blonde. But like I've never actually like officially explained it. So like moving forward, I can't wait to like do like comics or like actually just get on a video like this on my Instagram or whatever and talk like this is what it is, and just start continuing on the story.
You're building on top of it. I'm excited to see what else you do with not only Blonde Boy but all your brands in general. I think what you have going on creatively is just so amazing to see. Not only what you are creating, but just that progress, that never-ending evolution of where you're going. It's just so sick to see. We've touched on some messages you kind of like talking about in your art, but is there any messages you might want to try and ever touch on in your arts? So
this is the thing, like on Couch, like Blonde Boy for sure, like I'm just doing freelance design work, so it's kind of like like clients come to me. But like for Couch apparel, there's not necessarily like a direct message in which like in my video I'm sitting down and I'm like, hey guys, like like those people like
this is what I want to do with my brand.
Like this is like, but with a lot of my pieces, especially now, I make like very eccentric stuff, like this hand painted hat, like these, I don't know, spray painted jeans. And like I think the biggest thing is like I want people to like stay true to themselves. So like you like for instance, fashion is like one of these like really scary things where like I find a lot of people, they want to wear certain things. Like I've even heard it where people say, oh, I really wish I could wear these jeans, but that's just not who I am.
It doesn't fit me. Or,
yes, exactly. And like I feel like fashion's like one of those big things where people judge you a lot for, like on the street. It's like like if people don't know who you are, like they're not going to talk to you whenever. It's like face value things. So people are scared to wear what they want and be true to who they are. So I want to make like crazy shit like this and like show that it's okay to like wear a hat that literally has ears and it looks like it's eating your head. Like it's okay to like wear things that don't necessarily match like I don't know, patterns and stripes and everything, like, because at the end of the day, like, you're like, if you're gonna live your life, you want to live it to how you want it. And like fashion actually has a big power with doing that, because it lets you finally express like one way, like your true self and like how you want to go out into the world. And it could be fun. Like one of my biggest inspirations is like Kerwin Frost. And like,
oh yeah, I have followed Kerwin. A lot of his stuff is really crazy too.
Yeah. So Kerwin Frost, like I was reading an interview that he was doing. I think it was an interview for Interview magazine.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he just loves wearing top hats. Like he just wears a top hat going out because he wants something that makes him laugh. Like, because who's around walking with a top hat? So like the idea of him wearing this top hat makes his day brighter, because what the fuck, it's just so random and whatever. So like that's like one of my biggest messages, is just like, even though I'm not directly saying it to people, like just with my clothes and like moving forward, like just don't be scared of trying things out. Like if it looks like ass, that's okay. Like you're just trying, you're doing your best. Like,
there's another day.
Exactly. And if you think it looks great, that's fucking sick. And like a lot of things is I just want to be real with people. Like I feel like a lot of times, like there's on social media and everything, like it's very again, it's face value. You only see what's like on the screen and what have you. Like I want to be very real with my followers. I don't want to be like showing like, yo, look at all this money I'm making, or like anything like that. Like I want it to
flexing on people.
Or like, I don't know, like just spreading messages that of positivity and like real, because I think a lot, at least for me, like my sadness, or like for instance, I still have to work like a day job. Like couch and like my freelance and stuff is not like where I make money. I'm able to live and like do things. Like I have to work like a part-time job to be able to make money. And I find that not a lot of people talk about it. Even me, like I feel like maybe I should go on and share a little bit more of like my art in that sense. But like I feel like when people can't see that how things are going on, like it's kind of hard, because you're like, how do they do it when I'm here like trying to do like my job and my clothing's not really launching off, and like you get down on yourself and stuff. So I feel like it's important, not just for me like moving forward to express this realness, but like other people, because ultimately you're only showing one half of you. And like if you are making money from doing clothes, like that's sick. You should like state that, or like explain maybe how you got there. Like I think like Mac DeMarco, he was bagging groceries at a grocery store, and then like his music started picking up. But like the fact that I know that Mac DeMarco was working at a grocery store, or like Tyler the Creator, he was working at Starbucks. And like hearing him be real and talking about
how he hated it,
that this is what he had to do in the meantime. And then like as things progress, like it wasn't like, oh, I just started making music and now I
started popping off. I mean, the climb for him was a long climb too. Like for Tyler, like he didn't blow up immediately. He maybe had a really dedicated small fan base that maybe a little too hardcore, but he had an audience there. But he still grew on his music, changed his music, really found his voice and found what he wanted to sound like, and boom, like he got to that point. And I think that's what it is right now. Maybe it might not feel, you might not feel like Tyler the Creator at the end right now, but like I think because of that, you have such a drive, not only to create clothes, but even just how you promote the clothes, how you want to do the rollouts. Like I think you put a lot of effort into a lot of those aspects, and I think seeing that I think is it's just absolutely amazing, because I think you're right, not a lot of people get to see the hard work you actually put into not into your clothes, and not even just supporting yourself and supporting your living situation, right? So it's a lot to carry on for one person too, right?
What is a lot? And like I said, like this is something like moving forward that this could be a cool way to like, I don't know, show my studio, show my space, because that's something I really like too, like seeing artists, and like whether they're musicians or like visual artists, like having a photo posted of them like doing their thing. It's super cool to see. And also like going with the messages, I just want to like try my best to spread just positive stuff. There's a lot of negativity, like especially like within the arts, where they're like, you need to stay up all night, like work harder, work harder.
Yeah.
And like like drilling in your brain that like if you are tired and you want like an ounce of sleep, that you're gonna fail in life. And like there's a difference between being dedicated and passionate to your art and being forced to do it. And like a lot of the time, like with these people that are like telling you that you need to like not sleep, stay up all night,
grind
like,
for it,
like there's one thing for being passionate and like say you're working on a project late at night and you're like, I can't even sleep, like I'm only thinking about this project, I want to stay up all night and do it. That's one thing, like that's awesome, like that you are so passionate that you want to stay up. But then there's another thing where you've worked, like for instance, I get up at 6 a.m. to go to work, and then I get home and I'm working on my stuff and I'm tired and I want to sleep. There's one thing, like I'm tired, I just want to go to bed. Like pushing yourself when you feel like you can't, like you're just setting yourself up for like a downfall. Like, so being passionate and doing your thing. That was a pretty I would try to explain that the best I could. The difference between like a lot of the time, like I feel like they're really drilling in a huge negative mindset that if you're not doing literally the like 100 million things that you're gonna fail. But like
or like that you're wasting your time.
You're wasting your time. Exactly. Like life is very complicated, and it's something that like I'm still trying to figure out myself. Like I'm still there, like, oh my God, I'm tired. I want to sleep. And then I hear that like random person that I saw on Instagram, like, don't go to sleep. And like, it still messes. It's still something I'm battling with. And I feel like if there's someone else that can spread a different message, or like at least show like a more positive light, like one person, I don't know, it helps to weigh out the negativity with all that stuff.
No, 100%. Like, I would agree. Just want to touch on it because, like, I think because, this is obviously an OCAD Live show. Dylan isn't from OCAD, but he is an artist. And I think talking about this is important because a lot of artists, I feel like right now, we're in final assignment season for the semester. So I think there's a lot of people out here who are doing exactly that, not really taking care of their own bodies. I feel like that's I think why it gets so negative is because you could just miss sleep, but then there's times where you miss sleep and you skip on meals, and then because you just want to keep working on this thing and finally finish it. And that's I think that is one of my problems. I think when it comes to the arts is just that mindset of like I have to finish this by this time or else it's over or else it's gone. There goes that opportunity. And that I can see what you're saying there, especially with art. It's just so hard to get to a point where you're like, this is what I want. This is the goal I wanted.
100%. And like, if you just if you just do, like at the end of the day, like, yes, you need to do hard work and you need to like keep consistent, like to like learn new things and whatever. But that doesn't mean like hard work doesn't mean to kill yourself over like all this stuff. Like you hurting your body over time. Yes,
not
exactly. So keep pushing, just keep consistent, do your hard work, but please eat some food,
Hydrate.
hydrate,
Yes.
have a nap, go to sleep. I'm not just trying to preach this to you. I'm trying to teach that to myself.
Yeah.
So I want to come at this with like an even playing field. So we're all in this together. So get that water, take a sip of it.
And Dylan, I want to hit you with my last question of the interview, sadly. Who or what has inspired you in your process of making your art or even clothes?
Yeah, so inspiration like comes from like so many different avenues,
Yeah.
like with my stuff. Like I find like I touched on already, like TV and cartoons have like really shaped like the art that I make. So to be specific, like The Simpsons, SpongeBob SquarePants, like all that stuff has like, you could see it in like art, like the Simpsons kind of esque thing.
Yeah.
Music, I love Gene Dawson. I love Tyler the Creator.
Yeah.
I love the thing with musicians. I find that like even though they're not necessarily doing like, I mean Tyler, he's doing fashion. Like these people, they're able to like brand themselves so well as like an artist. Like when like for instance Tyler with each album, how
Yes.
he has like a different like kind of character that he kind of gives off. Like that whole world building again is so sick that like Tyler Baudelaire, he's like a super Wes Anderson kind of traveling maniac that goes everywhere and like sees the world, versus Igor, which is like two different people.
Oh, yeah.
So like a lot of music surprisingly like inspires the work I make. But when it comes to like fashion designers or like artists, some names that come to me are like Danny Cole of Creature World. He's based in New York. He's very big on world building too.
Okay.
And I love everything that guy does. Like it's super, he goes from like street art to like clothes to again like visual art, like with canvases and everything. Like so much stuff like is so sick. There's Atticus Tor, I think I'm saying that right, from Settings.
Okay.
He is an artist that does a lot of airbrush. He goes and tours around like different cities and brings his airbrush wherever he goes. And he's like kind of living that musician lifestyle, but with clothes. It's like going on tour, meeting these people, having these experiences that is like so fucking sick. Like it's so sick. And seeing him do that is incredible. There's a Ass Pizza. I think Ass Pizza is really cool. But like his art style and like his vision for his art, I think is really cool. So like touching on that, I love Cause. I love let me think. Like there's so many. I feel like I'm missing like a million things right now. Like, you know, like when you're on,
I feel like this was a loaded question.
when you're on social media, you like see you have everyone that you follow that is like this. Oh, Euphoric Supply.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We did connect over your
Yeah,
gummy worm
here,
wallet.
right.
Oh
I
yeah,
got
pull
it
it
here
out.
right now.
Here it is, and it's totally not broken at all. Glory.
Here. So I got this gummy wallet. He's kind of like one of the first artists that I met, or no, I didn't meet him, but like through Instagram, like when I was in high school, and like we're kind of the same age. I think he's a bit older, but like when I was in high school, I saw his art, and I saw like already like with him just drawing on T-shirts and stuff, like the potential and like the growth that he could have, and so that really inspired me as a kid. Like, oh my God, like this guy is literally like me, he's doing it. And it was like very inspiring when I was younger, seeing his work. But yeah, music, fashion design, like all that stuff. Some of those people I touched on, and cartoons. Cartoons are like, mwah.
That's the main source.
A lot of the main source, especially now, like where I'm wanting to do world building and stuff.
Yes, yeah.
And like seeing how the possibilities of like comic books and cartoons and everything, like there's just so much you could do with that.
100%. And yeah, it's great to see all those influences. I can see those very heavily, but also with your own brand. Like, I can see who you are within that in your own world that you're building. That
Thank
it's
you.
really cool to see. Dylan, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you. Is there anything you'd like to, before we go off, is there anything you'd like to say to the camera, you plug, promote, or put out there for the world to know?
Yeah. So if you want to follow my journey, you can follow me like on Instagram, on TikTok at Couch Apparel. My website is www.couchapparel.com. A lot of cool things that I have planned in the new year. I was talking about Couch the magazine earlier. There may or may not be a second sort of edition of the Couch mag, maybe more of like a book.
A novel.
A novel. So we'll see what happens in the new year. But yeah, I want to do a lot of more fun stuff like events, meeting new people. That's the biggest thing. Being in the arts too, you get trapped in your room a lot.
100%.
And you got to get out and meet some people. So I'm going to try to get myself out there, even though it's a bit nerve-wracking. Meet some new people. Even today,
Yeah.
a little nervous. I don't really talk about my stuff like
Yeah.
this, so this is super cool. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening to my journey. I hope to one day be able to watch you guys in this chair talk about your journey and where you're kind of going throughout life. If you ever want to just message me and talk about your process, I'd love to meet new people again. So feel free to like DM me or send me an email or whatever. Talk about it. Like, show me like what you're working on and I'll show you what I'm, because I think the biggest thing is like motivating each other.
Yes.
So if you have someone like me that maybe, like if you're trying to get motivated, show it to me and then we can work together and stuff. So that's the biggest thing. So thank you all for watching.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dylan, again. I hope you had as much of a good time as I did interviewing you for this show.
Yeah, it was sick.
Appreciate it. And I thank you all for watching this episode of Artistic Visions. I cannot wait to see you guys very, very soon again. Take it easy, and I hope you have a good day, week, or weekend. Take it easy. Bye.